Thank you. Thank you for that inspiring and truthful words. And that's what we need here is the truth. And I think that what we've been able to see here today, where the President of the United States and where the Republicans really are, and what they are really doing and not doing here in Washington, D.C., as families across the country struggle to make ends meet. They're not making life affordable. That's what the president talked about when he initially read. We're going to make things affordable. They're not making sure that people receive the kind of care, health care, one of the reasons why this government is shut down by them. What they're doing is taking away food, taking food out of the disabled's mouths, taking food out of seniors' mouths, taking food out of children's mouths. That is what they're doing. And that's what we've got to deal with. And that's why we've been here week after week waiting for them to come back to the table. When have you ever seen, in the middle of a shutdown, a president of the United States, instead of sitting in the White House, bringing people together to try to figure out how do we work together to have a bipartisan solution? It has never happened before. This president has spent more time on the golf course than spending time with leaders here to resolve this issue. This president has spent more time around the world. Most times when people around the world, even presidents, have serious business around the world, but when there's a domestic problem, they say, I've got to get up and come home and try to help resolve the issues that are before us. Not this guy. Not this Congress. In fact, he showed you. We said that, and he lies. That's what he does. And that's not something that I'm just saying. You know, just go back to 2016. That's what Marco Rubio said. He was a liar. That's what all of the lead Republicans said right now, that he was a liar. And he's lying again. Even when you're talking about negotiating something, he doesn't intend to. We've seen it in his big, ugly bill. There's been shutdowns before. Never in the history of this country where there was a shutdown was there ever any threat to stop SNAP. Only with this immoral president who thinks he is king. In fact, what Trump said goes directly against what his own USDA was saying just hours ago, and is what his own press secretary said afterwards. With this administration, there's never order. It's just chaos and confusion. And so by choosing not to fully fund, and if you listen to him, not to fund, because we know now he doesn't want to fund SNAP. What the Republicans are doing, they're cutting the assistance, as indicated, of 42 million Americans. You know, I look at my district alone, 80,000 households rely on SNAP for nutrition and assistance. And at a time when the cost of a dozen eggs is at an all-time high, and people are already struggling to feed their families because of his tariffs, driving up the cost of everything, inflation increasing, and now he comes here, he reveals who he is. So I think that the American people are getting a glimpse of what we see and have to deal with every day. And I think that anytime you have someone that's leading, you got to look at the co-conspirators behind them. And that is the members of the Republican Party who refuse to come back here and on the floor and to work together to get this done. They are as guilty as he is, and they're going to pay for it at the polls. But we are going to stand. We're going to stand with the poor. We're going to stand with the neglected. We're going to stand with the disabled. We're going to stand for all of the American people and not play politics and cause them to have hunger and cause people to die. This is not a game. This is serious. Lives are on the line. We will stand. Where are my Republican colleagues who are supposed to put the Constitution first and the people first? They're not to be seen.